Hi guys, it's Natalie and I'm back again this week. I'll be coloring this picture that I drew of a fantasy girl. This is just a girl I thought would be fun to draw. She has elf ears and she'll have a flower crown and nice hair, so it really is almost like a fantasy character. It's no character in particular, but I think it'll be fun to color. I drew it myself and I used a stock photo reference for the side of the face just to get the lines correct, but everything else was kind of, it definitely relied on input of my own imagination. Okay, to be coloring, I'll be using Prismacolor colored pencils. I always use these. They're great. I highly recommend them. They look like this. And let's see. I will begin. Let me get my colors out. And for the skin and hair today, her hair will be a white color, and to contrast with the white, she'll have a darker skin tone, and I think that will look really pretty. So I'm just getting out my colors right now. Okay, we have those. Actually, before I color the skin, I'm going to color in the eyelashes with a ink pen. This way I can draw eyelashes really easily, and the ink will be solid, so I won't have to worry about the eyelashes blending into the skin. Okay, so this is a Copic multi-liner. It's just a regular ink pen. The labeling wore off, so I can't show you, but I'll be using that. If you guys have questions, please ask them. Okay, after that, I'll be using an eraser to clean up the extra pencil, and then I'll begin on the skin. Okay, so I'm going to start with a sienna brown right now. I'm going to lightly brush over the skin. Someone asks what's special about Prismacolor pencils. Prismacolor pencils are probably the best commercially available colored pencils. You can blend really easily with them, and that's what sets them apart from other colored pencils, is the fact that they blend so well. Nope, and before I forget, I'll also be using the ink pens to color the nostril because that's very dark. And as I go, I always erase the pencil sketch, or just the pencil marks, because sometimes it can blend in with the pencil and it doesn't always look that good. So I do that to avoid unwanted smearing and coloring. To those who came in late, this is a drawing of no one in particular. It's just, I guess, like a product of imagination combined with the stock image of just a girl facing the side. So it's just a fantasy girl, I guess. She's not anyone in particular. And I'll also color in the ear and neck. Right now, again, I'm just doing a basic layer of color. Okay, now after just some basic color that I laid down, I'll be shading it in. I'm doing this in a different approach than I used to do skin coloring. Like, I would lay down the white first and then go darker, but I'm changing it up, just showing you that you don't have to go in a specific order when coloring with Prismacolor pencils. You can start with the darker colors first if you'd like, and then go to the lighter ones. But don't put down too dark of a color right away because of the fact that, especially like if you're putting in some white shading right here, don't color this in all the way because that might interfere with the area that you wanted to shade lighter. So always keep that in mind. But really, there's no specific order in what areas you need to shade first or what colors you need to put down. If you guys see my hands disappear for a moment, just know I'm sharpening the pencil. This pencil keeps breaking. Unfortunately, Prismacolors, if the stick of color breaks inside, you can have trouble sharpening it. It appears that this one color is having some problems. You should be cautious and just make sure that you don't drop them and take good care of them. These Prismacolors I got secondhand, so who knows what happened before I got them, but just always make sure that you're taking good care of your pencils. Don't let them drop or anything. And there are different ways to sharpen them. You don't always have to use a sharpener, but if you are using a sharpener, I would advise you to stay away from plastic ones that you purchase during school supply shopping or at Walmart, and I would get a nice metal pencil sharpener. Another way to sharpen your Prismacolors without, this is the most efficient way to sharpen them. I'm not doing it right now because it's more dangerous and it's harder to do on screen, I think, but it's to use a blade and to shave it away. That way you reduce the waste. It's really cool, but I wouldn't recommend doing that for many of the younger viewers out there because it does require a blade to do. Okay, and as for the eyebrow right now, I'm not going to color it yet. I'm going to come in with the white paint later whenever I color the hair. One thing that's really cool to observe is that you can watch this initial, the initial brown that I applied. Since it was just a quick brush over with it, it doesn't look as smooth and blended, but as I apply other colors on top of it, you can see how it blends together and it looks smooth as seen with the white right over here. Keep in mind that as soon as you use the pencils, not everything is going to be super smooth and blended. You have to blend it yourself, and that may require going over the same area several different times with different colors and using different motions. I've found that circular motions they seem to be one of the most successful for blending smooth surfaces. However, larger areas, it can be more efficient to do lines in a single direction. One thing that I've noticed when coloring with a variety of colors is that some colors they tend to blend easier than others. For example, I feel like the white blends really easily, whereas some of these browns, it's a little more difficult. I feel like this one, it's like, I guess it's almost more waxy and it blends the color beneath it, whereas some of these brownish colors, they don't do as good of a job as that. But I mean, it's okay because in certain areas you can always go over it with white to help blend it. One thing I'd like to try, it's a product of Prismacolor. It's the colorless blender pencil. It looks just like a colored pencil, except there's no color to it, and you just use it as a simple blending stick. I haven't tried one yet, however I'd like to. I wonder how it works. I should probably go to a craft store sometime this week or this weekend and I'll pick one up, but once I get it, I'll tell you guys about it. And for the lips, I'll be using a peach color first, just to give it a lighter and almost pinkish color, and then I'll be shading it. Oh, I see a lot of comments about asking why I use paint to color hair. The reason I do that is because I only have an hour for these videos, and paint is the most efficient way to color a large area. And besides, I really like the look of the painted hair versus the traditionally colored hair. I just find it to be a lot more enjoyable using paint, and I think it looks unique with the paint where it's not precisely shaded with like each strand of hair colored. However, I do think that at some point I should make a tutorial on how to shade hair like that, since I haven't really done it. I should probably make a video one of these nights just about hair and how to shade that, because whenever I'm drawing a full picture with a face and everything, coloring the hair is very time intensive. Whenever I draw pictures where I shade hair, hair always takes the longest to color, so it just isn't feasible for these short videos. Okay, skin I can get carried away with in color for a long time because I always like tend to see imperfections in my own work, and I'll come back to it. But before I move on to the ears and the neck, I'm going to color the eye right here. And to start, I'll color the eyeball white. Drawing eyes in a profile view of a face can be really difficult sometimes because of the weird angle. But whenever drawing the initial eye, just if you don't get it right the first time, it's okay to erase it. That's what pencil's for. Don't worry if you don't get it right on the first time, if you don't like it. Oftentimes I have to redraw it tons of times, and that's what I did for this. But once I got it to a place where I was confident in it, I kept it. However, portrait view faces, it is kind of nice because you do color one eye, so it's simple. If you're worried about your eyes not looking the same whenever you draw them, profile view is one way around that because you don't have to worry about symmetry as much. Okay, since this is a fantasy-like character, I'll let you guys pick the eye color. It can be anything. Just know that her hair will be white. So, first person to say an eye color, I'll do it. Quick, eye color. Someone. Blue. Okay, blue it is. Wait, I don't know about blue. You guys chose blue last time. Okay, I see purple. Okay, and to add a reflection to the eye, I use white acrylic paint as always, just a small touch of it. This is acrylic paint that I bought at Hobby Lobby, however you can get similar paints anywhere else. Just a little dot of white does the job. Be one right there. Okay, I'll be shading the ear right now. whenever I sketched this, I drew a flower crown for her. So before I color the hair, I'm going to color the crown. I think I'll make the petals of the flowers purple to match her eye color that you guys decided on. Now I could go back and shade all the petals of all of the flowers, but I feel like that may take too much time, so I'll come back to that at the end if I have the time for it. But right now let's begin on the hair. Right now I'm just cleaning up some of the excess marks. Okay, I know I said I was going to use paint beforehand, but I think I'm actually I changed my mind and I'll be using colored pencil instead. Oh wait, oops, I almost forgot. I need some kind of connector for all these flowers. And it will just be almost like the crown was made of like twigs or grass, something like that. Or just branches from a small tree. Just something to connect all the flowers together. I really enjoy coloring with the white pencil on tone gray paper because the white pencil especially is just super smooth, and I really like watching the white just pop out from the gray. So that's, oh, by the way, I don't think I mentioned it in this video, but this paper is tone gray paper by Strathmore. I highly recommend this paper to anyone who hasn't tried it yet. It's really nice, and I think you'd be surprised at how cool this paper actually is if you haven't thought about trying it before. You can get it at Hobby Lobby, Michael's, and on Amazon probably. It's just a unique change from the typical white paper that most people use. for shading the hair, since it's white hair, one could use gray, like right here. This is cool gray, so on the screen it may have a bluish tint to it. I know that in one of my previous videos I used gray and it looked kind of blue. That was really weird, but that was something that just appeared on the camera, and on the actual picture it didn't. Now whenever you're drawing hair, it doesn't hurt to add a few loose strands here and there, because, I mean, for hair to be one concrete solid shape, it's some pretty good hair gel, but for this, it helps to make it look more realistic and natural if you add some loose strands of hair. Again, don't be afraid to add some stray hairs. I think that they actually can enhance a picture. Another tip for adding some of the stray hairs, wherever you have areas like this little clump of hair that's right here in the middle of her face, I would definitely bring out some white paint and actually paint some of the stray hairs on it, because coloring with a white colored pencil over a color that's already been established can be really difficult, and you won't see it the same way that you'll see the strands right here. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to that. I'd like to just color in the hair right now. I have about 9 minutes until I have to go, but I definitely have a lot of this finished. Let me move some of my pencils out of the way. Okay, and now for just a little bit of shading in the hair, I'll be using gray and a little bit of black. This is mostly for the areas where it's darkest. thanks. Someone reminded me. I almost forgot about the eyebrow. I think that is definitely important. I don't think I'm going to paint it, just to make sure that the white matches the hair, so I'll be using colored pencil. And one last thing, I'm going to darken the lips just a tad. I feel like they definitely could be a little darker. Can't seem to find the color that I had in mind. It's one of those colors where you don't know the name of it, but you know what it looks like. Okay, I think this might have been the color I had in mind. There we go. The lips are a little darker. I think that looks better. Okay, so it's almost 11:30 now. Well, a minute until 11:30. So I need to get going. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more of my artwork, please check out my Instagram. The link to that is in the description of this video. And if there's anything that you missed and you'd like to go back and rewatch, you can do that as soon as I end the video, which will be right now. Bye guys.